TCRP is sort of like this lighthouse in a dark sea.
TCRP is kind of a community force.
TCRP is a group of really dedicated folks interested in making social change that benefits poor and low-income people in Texas.
I think ultimately, we're a professional gang of rabble-rousers, malcontent.
It definitely takes a village. So we have, I think now we have 15 full-time staff in Austin and a couple of part-time staff too. But a lot of what we do is done by volunteer labor. We have, at any given time, we probably have about 5 or more people in Austin doing intake internships and volunteering on the lines, doing investigative follow-up with police reports, looking at medical records, sending out public information act requests.
TCRP started in 1990, 24 years ago. And it's part of a larger context because originally, I would say our origins are in South Texas. This was a case that we used to begin to change the workers' compensation law in Texas because farm workers were excluded, even though it's the most dangerous occupation in Texas, or sometimes construction is, but they're at the top too. And in Mrs. Puga's case, what had happened is that her son was out working in the orange orchard, and they were using these huge bins to fill with oranges, and then you would use a forklift and raise it up. Well, he was doing that, and somehow it got jammed. He tried to unjam it, and the crate fell over on top of him and crushed him to death. And he was there maybe 4 or 5 hours before anybody found him. And he had a kid, he was married. But there were no benefits as a result of that. That death, nothing went to the family. If there had been workers' comp, there would have been some provision for the family. So this had been a struggle for a long time, and then we used this particular case as the beginning of the legal challenge to the exclusion of farm workers from the law.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Well, the fire broke out shortly before 1 o'clock this morning, and you can see behind me that investigators are still on the scene this morning trying to figure out exactly how this fire started.
Well, it was the fire was a very shocking and painful experience. I got the call at midnight, and I didn't believe it when she said the building is on fire. I said, "Are you sure?" And she, "Well, let me double check." But I didn't wait, so I came over here. And it was very disheartening coming up the street because the smoke was intense. You could not see even the street. It was a cloud, And it's like, oh man, what's left? So.
Well, when I first heard that there was a fire, I got a call telling me, "Hey, there's a fire at the office," and I didn't think anything. I didn't think it was a big fire. I didn't know why I would be called if there was a huge fire at the office.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you never plan for something like that, right? But I think if you were going to, you would hope to have the response that we had. It was just, we had multiple offers. Trala took us in, they were able to take all of us, and that was great. I think American Gateways said that they had some space where they could take a couple of us, and a couple other places said, if you need to go here, if you need to go there. The community really reached out. We had folks buying us tacos at Tom Gro's while we were working here. People who live in this community who don't really have a huge amount to spare were offering to actually come help us. So that was pretty cool.
We were back at work the next day, which is just, it's insane. And the reason is that we don't have a choice not to, right? We have really important work and really important people that we serve with really awful problems, and that doesn't just take a break.
So last year when we were here, it was a lot different situation. We were out of the office, and everybody came forward. You all helped us. We had a special collection last year. Everybody was very supportive, and we were very grateful for that. Just as we're very grateful for the terrific staff that works with us, the clients that we are honored to represent, all the volunteers that come forward and give up their time, give up better positions like the staff they could have because of their commitment to working with poor people and low-income people. So to everybody, we are really grateful. We are honored by your support, and we hope that we'll have many more years together making Texas better for civil rights.